Baby, donde tú quieras, yo paso a buscarte. Tú espérame afuera, pa' si no llamarte. No traigas paraguas como quiera, vamos a mojarte.
Welcome back to Max Reaction. How are you doing today? Hopefully you're having a good day. I am. Anyway, we're going to react to more Catriona Gray. This is Speaks on Miss Universe 2019, and this is the Build Series interview. So let's go ahead and check it out. You know how much I like Catriona Gray and how much I think what she stands for is amazing. She stands for the people. She stands for the people of the Philippines. She stands for the people of the world, really, because she is Miss Universe. She cares about education for kids. She's had organizations, she's made organizations to help kids, and it's just amazing what she does for kids and for the people of the Philippines. I think it's just truly amazing. The Philippine people should be proud. I know I'm proud. I may not be Filipino, born Filipino. I got a Filipino heart, though. I'm married to a Filipina. I have a Filipino baby boy, well, half anyway, and I absolutely love the Philippines, and I just absolutely love what she stands for. And she's so bright, she's beautiful on the inside as well as the outside. Her inner beauty shines, though, and I just can't wait to see what she talks about on this Build Series interview. So for right now, we're going to check it out, we're going to react to it, we'll see what she has to say, and we'll talk about it, too. So hopefully you like the reaction. Let's go ahead and get into it. This is exciting. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Catriona Gray was just 13 years old when her mom had a dream that she would become Miss Universe.
Amazing.
Walking along the stage in a red dress. And on December 16th, just days before her 25th birthday, the woman previously known as Miss Philippines did just that. Now as Miss Universe 2018, Catriona is dedicated to changing the lives of other children to allow them to follow their own dreams. Let's take a listen to her talking about her platform.
Awesome.
I work a lot in the slums of Tondo, Manila, and the life there is it's poor and it's very sad. And I've always taught myself to look for the beauty in it, to look for the beauty of the children, and to be grateful. And I would bring this aspect as a Miss Universe to see situations with a silver lining and to assess where I could give something, where I could provide something as a spokesperson. And this, I think, if I could teach also people to be grateful, we could have an amazing world where negativity could not grow and foster, and children would have a smile on their face. Thank you.
That was kind of hard to hear, I know, but it was her little speech she gave as she was winning Miss Universe, or as she was about to win Miss Universe, and she just wants to bring light to the youth, and I think that's awesome. And she wants the world to change. Not only does she want to change the Philippines, she wants to change the world, the way that we treat our young, the way we raise our young up. And if you do it the right way, you raise your young up, guess what? The world's going to be a much better place. Let's continue on with this interview.
That's crazy. I'm sitting here like beaming watching that.
Wow.
I obviously was not the person who became Miss Universe 2018. And the one thing that I have to ask, I'm sure you hardly remember it, but I know Demi, who is the previous Miss Universe, was the one that crowned you, and I noticed that she whispered something in your ear.
It's awesome.
Every time I've watched this, I want to know what she said.
What'd she say?
Well, actually, she was like, it's a little bit loose, so be careful it doesn't fall off. It was as practical as that. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Catriona, and I've been looking forward to this interview all week.
Oh, I'm very
She's
excited.
glowing.
Yeah. Well, we have the crown right here, and I'm super excited about that, too, because it is beautiful, and I might just have to steal it. But I like that it was something as practical as that, because I thought it was going to be something like super inspiring, whatever, and that would have just gone through one ear and out the other at that point. So any advice I'm sure you could have gotten at that point was welcomed.
Well, I think at that point, I was just, I don't know if you guys have ever known this, or like when you get into that situation and your adrenaline's pumping and everything's just happening at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I couldn't absorb anything. That whole night after the crown was placed on my head just felt like I was in a dream state. It didn't feel real yet.
Like a blur.
Which, I know a lot of girls say this, but it's true. And then how do you even process something that would happen in a matter of seconds to be announced as Miss Universe? It really just takes so long to sink in.
It's like breathtaking. Like even to her, she's surprised, but I think a lot of her fans aren't surprised because we can see how well prepared she is to be Miss Universe. She's well deserving. It's just so awesome.
And I mean, it's not your first time being crowned and getting an incredible title. So even when you became Miss Philippines, how does that compare to now becoming Miss Universe?
It's so different because competing for Miss Philippines, I really just feel like I'm a candidate. I'm not representing my country just yet. So when I do get the honor of knowing that I'll wear a Philippine sash, I really wanted to embody it in every aspect. So even as a Miss Philippines, in my wardrobe, I wanted to showcase the Filipino textiles, our fabrics, our silhouettes, and our symbolism.
Everything
and I
Filipino.
researched about our culture and our history. And, you know, there was so much more weight to it. It wasn't just, I'm candidate number this. I'm a Miss Philippines, and this sash is not just lettering, it's a country.
Right.
So there was that weight. Yeah.
Definitely. And even hearing you talk about that, I can't even imagine then getting whisked away to New York of all places. So you were in Thailand representing the Philippines, and then you get taken to America. And it's just, it's so much. And I'm sure you kind of just lose track of who you are, what you're even doing in those moments. Now that you're settled here, is it crazy to think that you're representing the Philippines, but now you're living in the U.S.?
No, definitely. There is that whole realization of, oh, wait, I'm not just speaking mainly to Filipinos anymore. I'm speaking to a global audience. And with that comes an amazing platform.
That's right.
But also, I really have to learn as I go along, like, wow, what an amazing and huge responsibility I've been given. So I'm really just learning every step of the way. Actually, after I was crowned in Thailand, in Bangkok, I was able to go back home to the Philippines. So I hid all Christmas. Because we haven't done any media. We're going
That's
back
so
for my
awesome.
homecoming,
She got
but
to spend some time.
I was a hermit for Christmas and New Year, but, you know, everyone was just so excited. Everyone's spirits were so high. And, you know, just to think that I was able to bring that kind of joy to people that I've never met, to see the reaction videos and everything was just, it really overwhelms me. And it really just makes me feel like, wow, I was able to bring joy to people. What an amazing thing.
She gives me goosebumps when she talks, and she's right. Like, she's a uniter. She united the people, the people of the Philippines specifically, and around the world. And she's going to be a great speaker for around the world, not just the Philippines. Like you said, she's not speaking just to the Philippine people. She's speaking to every country, everybody on this earth. And what a great candidate, because she has such a golden heart. She just bleeds Philippine pride, and that's one of the many things I love about her. Let's keep going.
And you talking about that universal platform, I think you're kind of the perfect person for this role. You grew up in Australia, your dad is Scottish, and your mom is Filipino, and then you moved to the Philippines. You also went to school in the U.S.?
Yes, I studied by correspondence.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of have done it, seen it all, I feel
everywhere.
like. So how are you going to take those experiences and living in these two very different countries and experiencing different cultures into your role as Miss Universe?
I really feel that growing up in a cohesion of cultures really made me have an open mind to how different cultures can be.
Absolutely.
The different traditions that they carry, how that makes them affect how they treat different people, how they go about their lives, the values that are ingrained to them. So I grew up with that, with the best of both worlds, I really feel like. And I had the pleasure of traveling a lot in my life. So I think it really helped me just have an open mind to be more understanding. And
she was chosen
for
for this.
Of a competition like Miss Universe, where you get women from all over the world coming together, and we get to share about not only like our favorite places in our country or to find out where we want to go, but also like how is it that we go about our daily lives? What are our values that were taught to us by our families? What was ingrained to us by our societies or our communities? And it opens up the most interesting conversations. And
Always
I think that's
learning.
a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like she's always learning, no matter where she goes. If she's in Australia, the Philippines, and the competition, she's gathering information from the girls she's competing with, you know, and she's going to use that knowledge for the good. She's going to use that knowledge to educate people, like me, like you, watching right now. She's going to inspire, and she's going to cause so much good. What a wonderful, wonderful lady.
I even saw just doing some research and seeing what people were saying on Twitter. There were a ton of people from Australia that were like, wait, she's ours, which I thought was really funny. And also, like, was it weird at all to be competing against Miss Australia?
No, because I really feel like a Miss Philippines.
Right.
I feel like a Filipina, like a Filipino woman. It just so happens that when I was growing up, I was very much an Australian, and I think you can be both. I mean, because I did grow up with those two sides of the world, if you would.
Right.
And I just thought it was funny that there was almost a war. Like, no, she's ours. She's practically a Miss Australia, but I am a Miss Philippines. But I can't blame them from being excited, from really feeling the high spirits of the season too. So I'll let them have that.
Well, you've also competed. You were Little Miss Philippines.
I was
you've rocked this title for a while. Can you tell us a little bit about those younger experiences?
I think it's so funny because everyone always says, like, this can't be your first pageant. And I try to tell them I'm really not a pageant girl. I never dreamed of being a beauty queen, which is true, but it's hard to justify when it's like, well, when you were 5, you were in Little Miss Philippines.
Right.
Blame my mom for that. My mom and my dad are just the proudest parents, and I'm very blessed to have such supportive parents. And yeah, I was 5 years old. I did Little Miss Philippines. I don't remember much, but I know that in the talent competition, I danced and lip-synced to Stop Right Now by the Spice Girls.
By the Spice Girls.
Amazing.
I had a matching silver outfit, and I was just, I was feeling myself.
I love that.
So you've seen, she's like, she doesn't feel like she's a pageant woman, pageant lady. But I know she sees this as a platform to be able to do what she wants to do in her life, which is help children. So what a great platform, like winning Miss Universe. Like, people are going to listen to you as Miss Universe. You've seen the competition. You've seen how much everybody united around her. And I guarantee she sees this as a great platform to launch off and do what she wants to do in life, which is one of the things is help the children, help the less fortunate, and help them to where they can help people later on because they're going to succeed. It's just so amazing, so amazing. She's not a pageant girl, but she is our pageant queen. So
that, and you are lip singing, but you actually sing.
Yeah.
So you went to
Amazingly.
school for music. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I have a master's certificate in music theory from Berkeley, and music is just something that's really been throughout my whole life. I grew up with 3 generations of music.
Music's
because my
medicine.
dad was born in the 40s, my mom was born in the 60s, and I'm born in the 90s. So you can imagine our radio at home is always skipping around the different generations, and I was always in school choir growing up. I was the leader of my jazz band. I was in musicals. So I don't know, I had never planned on pursuing music, but when I think about it, it's really something that I've always been passionate about. It's always something that brought me so much joy. So, yeah, it's something I definitely want to pursue. And actually, a month and a half ago, I believe, I actually released my first original called "We're in This Together."
Oh my God, that's amazing!
It is amazing.
I feel like you're like the true triple threat when I hear about all of this. But the one thing that you're talking a ton about is obviously your childhood and your foundation, your roots with your parents and growing up.
That's special.
And I think that's really important to your platform because now you're kind of looking to give back to children and invest in their education. So
gives me goosebumps listening.
Your platform a little bit.
Yeah, so of course I grew up in Australia and then I found myself in the Philippines. I had never experienced poverty firsthand. Like, of course, I've seen it on the TV, on the news, on social media feeds, but when I was able to experience it myself, like being there and seeing it and sensing it with all of my senses and just seeing the reality of it, it impacted me so strongly. Especially, I found myself in a place called Tondo, Manila. It's literally within Manila, our capital city of the Philippines.
Right.
And it's known as a garbage dump where all of the trash from the city goes. And families there, the majority of them make a living from scavenging through the trash and finding and selling recyclables to feed their families.
Wow.
So if you can imagine, the scenery there is quite, it's very, it really impacted me when I saw it. And in the heat of the summer day, these families, they don't have air cons, they don't have proper homes. And if you imagine that impact on the children, where they don't even have toys to play with, but they find things in the trash. And, you know, some of them don't get the reality of an education. And maybe if they do end up going to school, they get pulled out early just to help their families make ends meet. So when I saw this, I was like, how lucky am I that I was born into a circumstance that I was able to be given an education?
Just because we were born that way.
Children were just born into this circumstance. It's not fair. I'm so passionate about education. Education also because I feel that if you give a child an education, it's something that they can never lose. And it's also a way to break the cycle of poverty. You know, if you give a child an education and give them a love for learning, they could have an academic career and then hopefully find work that could pull their family out of that circumstance. So I work with an organization called Young Focus Philippines, and they give free education and free access to quality education.
That's amazing.
And I feel like education should be free. It's the foundation, like she says. It's the most important foundation. You know, when you're young, you're always learning. Just like, I mean, when you're older, you're learning too. I learn every day. I know you learn every day, whether you know it or not. And especially when you're young, you're learning everything. You're learning the world, how the world works. And like she's saying, we need to teach our young. We need to teach our young, and she's going to use this as a platform. And I love how she explains it, how she knows she was kind of born a little privileged, you know. She was born where she didn't have to go through all these issues of not having being taught, not being able to go to school. I mean, there's all kinds of kids that don't get to go to school in every country, not just the Philippines, but every country, but especially in the Philippines. Like she said, these people live in like a dump area, but they don't have a choice. They were born into that. And we can get past that as a people, you know. If people like her, people like me, people like you do just a little, and we all do a little, it'll be a lot. And we can do that. She totally inspires me to do good. And I want to do good in the Philippines because me and my wife one day want to move to the Philippines. I almost said back to the Philippines. But I've never personally lived there. My wife is from the Philippines, so definitely want to do good. She's so inspiring to me. It's just so amazing to listen to her talk, how smart she is, her inner beauty. I just like it. I love it. But anyway, let's keep on going with this interview. Thoroughly enjoying it. She's just amazing.
And I know you've spent some time with those kids as well, right?
Yeah, I've worked in Tondo as like I help out in class, you know, with storytelling and, you know, the little games and songs that they teach the kids. It's really a creative environment that's colorful because we want children to fall in love with learning at a young age.
Absolutely.
And so I work a lot with the younger kids. I've also worked with some of the teens because a lot of them have dropped out of school or they just don't have an interest in school. So it's really engaging them again and finding something that they're interested in and want to pursue.
That's so awesome.
Thank you.
And speaking of your platform, I also have to tie this into social media a little bit because the Miss Universe pageants have gone beyond the time when social media even existed. But now I feel like it's such a huge part. And I couldn't help but notice that you gained 3 million followers in 2 to 3 weeks or something crazy like that.
It's crazy.
Wow.
So what kind of role do you think social media is now playing in the pageant and then now getting your platform out there?
Like to first off say like that leap in followers was just it took me by so much surprise.
Mind-blowing.
Because I still feel like the same girl from a year ago, you know? I don't feel like I've changed that much. But to see that I have such this huge platform now and so many people are listening to what I have to say, it really makes me want to orientate towards something that will really educate people, create awareness, do something more than, you know, show them a cute outfit or what I'm having for lunch. But social media has definitely revolutionized or transformed the world of pageantry, and not just pageantry, but any social cause that we like to lend our voice to, or how we inform each other, how we connect. And that's why I think it's a powerful, powerful tool that really has the potential to do so much good. And that's what, as Miss Universe, I really want to utilize as a tool to, as I said, educate, create awareness, draw people to causes that they might not have known.
Use every tool you get.
You know, connect them to every tool. Some way, somehow see themselves in that person or in that cause, or So yeah, I think social media is an amazing thing if used the right way.
I mean, I can imagine having 4 million followers is a bit overwhelming, especially when you get them like that fast.
Right?
You're like, what do I do? What do I post? What do I say? Everybody's listening.
For your good
watching.
cause.
And including some of your fans are some pretty big names now, which I think is very exciting. I know that Tyra Banks actually retweeted one of your walks from the pageant.
Wow. I died. So we were having dinner after rehearsals. And literally I was just sitting there and we're all tired and I just ate, so I'm having a bit of a food coma and I'm sitting there and then I start getting tagged and it's Tyra Banks. And I just look around to my table and like no one's noticing that I'm freaking out. And then I go to my friend, Miss Denmark in Sweden. I'm like, Tyra Banks just tweeted at me. It's crazy. And like, you know, it's
inspiring.
The phenomenon of pageantry, the way that it's able to reach so many different markets or countries and people is just crazy. And to have Tyra Banks like comment on my walk, I was just like, oh my gosh, if Tyra approves, then I'm, you know.
Tyra approves.
And I wanted to say something later on, you know, a few years from now, Miss Universe, you know, Catriona, she might retweet somebody and then somebody that has less followers be like, oh my gosh, Miss Universe 2019 just retweeted me. I mean, social media is a huge tool. You can use it for positive. I know Miss Universe will use it. I know Miss Gray will use it as a great tool. It's just so inspiring. It's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. I can't say it enough. Let's keep going.
Proved, that's all you need. But even you talking about pageantry and touching so many people, I know that especially in the US, I'm not sure about in other places, but there is some criticism of pageantry and the whole idea of beauty pageants. So I wanted to know a little bit about your experience as Miss Philippines, if, you know, pageantry is looked at in a different way, or even how you combat some of those more negative criticisms.
Right. Always negativity in the world.
Some people can have a negative perception of beauty pageants, but I feel that that's drawn from a surface perspective. They don't really see the journeys of the girls themselves or what they represent, because these days, especially with the women that I've competed with in Miss Universe and the women that I've talked to, they all have causes or they all have a bigger reason for wanting to pursue Miss Universe. And usually it's about the platform.
Not just the
beauty. Which is so amazing to see, because I think we're also showing that women can be so multifaceted. Like, we can't just be a model, but you could be someone who also is a lawyer or a budding doctor.
Right.
You know, we're so multifaceted.
Somebody helping children.
I think when you really
foundations.
See what we're trying to represent, what we're trying to do with the platform of pageantry, that will kind of change some people's perspectives. As a Miss Philippines, we love pageants. Like, is it obvious? Like, we don't have Super Bowl, but we have the 3 Bs, which is boxing, basketball, and beauty pageant.
Manny! Yeah.
And, you know, as a Miss Philippines, there is not even as a Miss Philippines yet, as a candidate, there is a certain pressure because so many people get so passionate about candidates and who's competing and everything. And if I had to develop anything as a candidate, it was mental fortitude, because to be bombarded on social media with both positive and negative comments.
We're all human. It affects
really
us.
Hard, you know, to always have a thick skin, because someone can say to you, hey, just don't worry about what they say. But there are times that something will get to you. A comment will hurt.
It's hard,
so it's really just building up that mental fortitude that I had to do as a candidate. I just remember why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I've been doing my charity work for 3 years, which is longer than my pageant career.
Right.
And that was just something that always anchored me in what I'm doing, made it worthwhile. Like, why am I pursuing this platform? This is the reason why.
I love those 3 Bs.
Right? Now when you think of Philippines, it's like the 3 Bs.
The 3 Bs. It's so funny because when I was watching, I felt like the entire audience was rooting for you. And even when you won, it was like Philippines everywhere. So I can't imagine coming together with all these other contestants, like how that works and how, you know, you have a little bit of a different motivation than some of these other people. And I can imagine you were looking out in the crowd and seeing so many people from your country.
Yeah, like I was thinking backstage, maybe I want to go out and do a little bit of a fierce moment here or whatever. But then I would see the Filipino flags and just the fans and their faces like just lit up, and I would break out into a smile. Like
So much emotion.
Every time I stepped out onto that stage that night, every time I saw a supporter, I heard the word Philippines or saw a flag, like the joy that would come over me that I was able to be there and give my country such pride. It just, like, I look back at it as one of the fondest aspects of my journey, which is the support, not even just from Filipinos, but from supporters all around the world.
Absolutely.
The way that they carry the candidates through and the way that they support them is just, you would never think that they would. But for example, I've had experience where supporters would be like, I know you're staying at this hotel. If you need anything, if you want late night snacks, if you want, a repair on a dress, tell us. And these are people that I don't know, but that they're willing to do that for you. Just shows their level of love and dedication just to support you. And I think that's really something special.
It's because you're special and other candidates are special, especially you, though. We see the good work you do. We see the good heart you have. We see who you are. We see what you represent. So, of course, we're always going to support you. Of course. And I'm prideful for you. I'm not Filipino, but I'm Filipino at heart. And I want to follow the journey of Miss Universe 2019, Miss Catriona Gray. I know you guys do as well, and we're going to support her as much as we can, aren't we? Aren't we? If you're going to support her as much as you can, comment down below and let me know. But let's keep on going with the interview.
That's also the perks of 4 million followers. Because now you can, living in New York, you could just say, hey, I want some Shake Shack, and you'll have it delivered to you.
That's what Uber Eats is like.
Also, did that kind of support just on that stage in particular give you some sort of comfort that maybe made the pageant a little easier, less nerve-wracking?
It definitely, makes my spirits high all throughout. Just to hear, every time I step out, I can hear the support, and that alone just makes me feel like
energized.
I have a phrase that laban, which means fighting.
Unstoppable.
So I just wanted to give my best, just to make those people proud, that they came all the way out there. Look how they're supporting me. They deserve the best performance that I can give.
Yes.
Amazing. And then since we're in New York, I just have to ask, you've settled in, how long have you been here?
5 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Settled,
I'm fresh.
I guess. Yeah. What are you most looking forward to about living in New York?
There's so many things to do.
Yeah.
So many places to eat. There's so many things to see. I'm a little bit overwhelmed because there's just so much that I want to do. There's so many places I want to go, Broadway plays I want to see. I want to try and watch some live music. I want to eat everywhere.
Right.
So yeah, I think really you can find everything in New York, and the people that you meet are from all different corners of the world.
Oh yeah.
All different walks.
So
of life.
diverse.
I think that gives it such an amazing energy. So I love it so far. Besides the weather, besides the cold,
and winter.
Cold, yeah.
We're into that too.
Cold.
I mean, trying to look nice while being warm is like an impossible balance to achieve. Can I just say, there are people who are amazing. I walked out the other day and saw someone in like ballet flats and a dress, and I was, what is their superpower? Can they let me in on
In
the
the
trick
cold.
or something?
And the best thing is everything inside is just like the opposite.
Right?
So you're freezing outside and then
toasty, like toasted.
yeah. You'll get used to it eventually, hopefully.
Yeah.
So now we're going to head over to some audience questions. I think we have one from
Audience
Twitter.
questions.
Cool. Oh.
Okay, so somebody says, could you tell us the insecurities you overcame after winning the crown, or any insecurities you still have today? Good luck on your media.
I have insecurities just like anyone else. Everyone, I think people have a perception that once you're successful, once you achieve a certain thing, that your life will be perfect. You'll never have a complaint. You'll never have a down day. That is not the case.
That's right.
I have bad days or days where I feel overwhelmed or like, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right decision, or I just feel not put together today. I'm having a bad hair day. You know, just silly things like that. And especially as a public figure, there are so many people who have these expectations of me to always look a certain way. Like I have experienced, and I'm sure going forward in this year I'll experience, is people always expect beauty queens to be done up 24/7. Like we wake up with our hair and makeup on.
Right, it takes time.
No, not at all. So it's just things like that, dealing with people's expectations and just, you know, accepting myself for who I am. Sometimes I'll have a breakout. Sometimes I'll feel really lost and overwhelmed or emotional. You know, it happens, and I have insecurities just like everyone else. And it's just a constant pep talk I need to give myself every day. Is like, you know what? You might not be feeling good today, but you know, there's so many things to be grateful for. You know, just go out and have the best day that you can. Hope that tomorrow you'll be in a better mood. You know, just things like that.
Yeah.
She has the smarts, the drive, and everything to get past her insecurities. That's why she was chosen. I think she was definitely meant to be Miss Universe for a reason. It was kind of a destiny, I think. She worked hard to get it. Don't get me wrong. She worked tirelessly hard, but she's amazing, and we need to let her know. I'm sure she already does know, but even if she wasn't done, we know she's beautiful. She's beautiful on the inside. She's beautiful on the outside. So Miss Catriona Gray, if you feel like coming out with no makeup, we still fully support you. Promise.
That's awesome. And then we have 3 in the audience.
Hi, guys.
Mabuhay.
Mabuhay!
Congratulations, and thank you for making us overseas Filipinos very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes.
My question is, aside from charity with the children, do you want to lend your platform to animal welfare or the environment in general?
Yeah, definitely. You know, as a Miss Universe, I'm not constrained to how many causes I can lend my voice to. And it's something that I really want to achieve this year is really just make as much of an impact, positive impact, that I possibly can. Whether it be through the many causes or just quality, making a qualitative difference to a few causes. Whatever makes the most difference or whatever opportunity I have, I want to take it. So definitely another cause that I'm very passionate about is being an advocate for HIV and AIDS. And, you know, it's just as something I'm passionate about is breaking down the stigma so that people can feel that they can just get tested without having that fear. So, yeah, definitely. In my reign, I hope that I can really push as many causes as I can.
That's absolutely awesome. It just shows how golden she is. She's not just on one cause, you know. She wants all the causes. She wants to bring as much good as possible. And we need more people like her. Hopefully she inspires you. She inspires me to do good in this world, not just to sit stagnant, you know. Be inspired. Are you inspired by her? Are you inspired by her? I hope you're inspired by her. If you're not inspired by her, how could you? I don't understand. But anyway, I know she'll do great things.
See, the woman does it all. I told you guys.
I try.
Hi, Catriona.
Hello.
Congratulations again on your title.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask you, what was the best advice you had gotten from previous Miss Philippines title holders?
This piece of advice was from Rachel Peters, who is my predecessor.
What'd she say?
She just told me, take every day as it comes. Because she told me that you can get overwhelmed because it is such a high pressure environment. You know how much expectation is on you.
One day at a time.
Just take it day by day, which, you know, it's a very simple advice, but I really did apply it throughout the pageant. I would take every day as it comes. Because if you start out on day one and you're like, oh my gosh, they're watching everything that we do, or you overthink and you overprocess, and then you start to
not
kind
concentrated.
of coil up in stress. I just tried to be like, okay, I just have to get through this day, do my best on this day, next day too. So yeah.
That goes back to something that your dad taught you too.
Yes.
Right? I know
one small step at a time.
One small step.
To reach your destination or final journey. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then we have one more.
Hi.
Hi. I'm a pageant girl myself, so what are some advice you would give any kind of pageant girl on wanting to be the next Miss Universe?
Right.
Okay. I wish you the best, firstly, in whatever pageant you pursue or whatever your dreams are in pageantry. Something that I really stay true to is what my values are and my uniqueness, if that makes sense. So, for an example, I'm a very creative person, so I interjected that into every part of my journey. I was really hands-on in my wardrobe, to how my final look was, up to my jewelry, like everything. I was so hands-on, and so I felt that when I walked out on that stage, no matter what happened, I knew that I felt comfortable, I felt as beautiful as I could be, and that I stayed true to myself. And I think that's so important, because in pageantry there will be people who may just have the best intentions as mentors, saying you should wear this color, do your hair like this, walk like this, smile like this. But you need to have the final say. You need to feel comfortable. You need to feel like you, and that will shine through. Yeah, I hope that's helpful.
What an awesome interview.
You.
Well, guess what? You walked how you wanted, and Tyra Banks approved it. So, well, thank you so much for joining us, Catriona. It was so nice chatting with you, and I wish you all the luck for your reign as Miss Universe.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Now, did that make you proud? As a human being, that should make you proud, but especially as a Filipino. Right here, Filipino flag up there. That should give you so much pride. And she has really good advice. If you just sit down and watch your interviews and listen to her talk, you can apply a lot of things that she says in your own life. Can't you? Be yourself. Be yourself. Whoever you are, inject that, and not just in pageantry. Inject it into your life. Whoever you are, your talents. Don't sell yourself short. I mean, that's what I'm getting from it, and that is such good advice. That's good advice. I'm going to teach my son Hunter. Say, hello, I'm Hunter. My son Hunter, I'm going to teach him that, and take life one step at a time, one day at a time. Because if you try to take too big of a step, you might fumble and fall down and set yourself back. I mean, little bits and pieces of advice that you get out of her interviews is awesome. And like I always say when I react to her stuff or talk about her, she is such a good person. We should strive to have a good heart. If you have a good heart, you can do good things in life. If you have a bad heart, you'll do bad things in life. So have a good heart. Help people out. Do good causes. And this world will be in such a better place, I promise. So I can't wait to see what she does in her journey. Their journey has just begun. Has the journey just begun? Are you proud? Are you proud of Catriona Gray? She's going to help little kids like you and you. Yeah, she cares about the kids, which is an awesome cause. But I'm just so inspired by her. We love her, we support her in whatever she does, and we'll be rooting her on. But anyway, you've seen my thoughts, you've heard my feelings, you've seen my reactions. He wants to talk. He's almost where he can, be speaking words. He says mom, dad, a few things, but he's almost where he can do little sentences, and I can't wait. But anyway, you've seen my thoughts. What's your thoughts, feelings, reactions? Comment down below so I can read them. I will read them. I love reading everybody's comments. Negative or positive, I read them. But anyway, you should join our family, the Max Reaction family. The subscribe button's right over there. We would appreciate that. And don't forget to spread that peace, that love, that happiness wherever you go. And we will see you next time. Later.
Baby, donde tú quieras, yo paso a buscarte. Tú espérame afuera, pa' si no llamarte. No traigas paraguas como quiera, va a mojarte. Baby, donde tú quieras, yo paso a buscarte. Tú espérame afuera, pa' si no llamarte. No traigas